We're back talking with Elvis's leading ladies, Stella Stevens, Marianne Mobley, Sue Ann Langdon, and Nancy Sinatra. And we were talking about whether or not he was a good actor, and Stella said he was a star, really, and you said no, you thought he wanted to become a good actor.
Well, I hate to disagree with Stella, but I felt when I worked with him that he really wanted to be good. He was insecure about it because he'd never had any formal training, and he greatly respected those actresses. There's a wonderful story about when he worked with Mildred Dunnock, and that's not the story, probably take too long to tell now, but you know, he really wanted to be a good actor, and I think he could have been. I believe that he was offered the Chris Christopherson role opposite Barbra Streisand in A Star Is Born. He wanted very much to do it, but I'm told that Colonel Tom would not allow it because he did not get top billing.
So now Colonel Tom, and he listened to Colonel Tom.
Oh, I think, yes. You know, he was a product of the Colonel. In every way, and he listened to him, and he was controlled by him. He was kept that way. He had his own little group of people around him that protected him, and that he was comfortable with. And but I think if a director had worked with him and tried, and not made him frightened, that he could have been a very good actor.
Why wouldn't he break with girl? Like Nancy, you were so sophisticated. You're truly a child of Hollywood. Your father knew so much. You know what I'm saying? Why couldn't you say to him at one point, you should go your own way, you shouldn't let the Colonel tell you every move? Did you ever talk to him about that? Did he ever talk to you about it?
Yes, as a matter of fact, he ached, I think, to do good roles in films, in good films. We all laughed at the film we were making. We knew it was a typical Elvis vehicle, and he longed for good, sensitive, meaty roles. He was such a man of depth, including concern for children and the plight of black children in the world, and it makes me cry to think about it. He was so concerned for his fellow man, and he even told me once that maybe he should have been a preacher because he could have helped people that way. And I said, I don't agree. I think you've helped many more people this way.
What about the Colonel? What was this control over him? I mean, it's tremendous. Every decision was made by the Colonel.
I don't think Elvis could decide what he wanted for breakfast without consulting the Colonel. I mean, he just absolutely...
Brainwashed.
Absolutely. And I remember when I worked with him, I said, there's a wonderful script of Dark of the Moon, and there's a great part of The Witch Boy, and you would be so wonderful in it, and I would love to play Barbara Allen. And he looked at me and said, why knock success? I said, Elvis, I'm not knocking your success. I'd only like to see you shine in something where people would see you be a great actor, you know. And he resented me from that time on, and he withdrew from me more and more.
It's funny how you could just turn him off, you know, and you didn't even mean to offend him or anything.
Maybe just saying Dark of the Moon, he didn't know what the Dark of the Moon was a play.
Probably did not know.
Well, I don't know. I felt that Elvis was a very simple, loyal young man, and I think he felt that he'd made a deal with the Colonel and that he had to honor it. You have to realize that this is a young man who grew up in a very straight family in that he was taught all the ethics of you will be honorable and you will do this. And I think he found a great conflict because I think he always wanted to do the right thing. And Colonel Tom made the deal. Also, if you don't have a great deal of education and people tell you that this is what's going to work for you, see, it's very easy for us to sit here and say what we would do. But we have to walk in somebody else's shoes to really realize. For instance, Colonel Tom had a call one time, and I was in the office signing my contract. And I must say I like Colonel Tom because he was very nice to me, but you have to look at the total picture. But Time magazine called, and they said they wanted to put Elvis on the cover. And Colonel Tom said, that'll be $25,000. Right.
And Time magazine said, well, you don't understand. It's a great honor to be on the cover of Time. And Colonel Tom said, you don't understand. We don't need you. So he never was on Time magazine cover? I don't know if he never was, but I know in that instance, the Colonel Tom said no. They had to pay him if he was, I guess. And he didn't need it. And he did. What a shame, because you wonder without him what would have happened. Absolutely. You know? Meanwhile, we're going to take another commercial break, thank God, because that pays for the program. And when we come back, I want to find out the biggest misconceptions that people have about Elvis. So we'll be back with more in a moment. Stay tuned.
lonely, darling.